So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to do maybe one thing. I need a hammer after these intensive days of rich and inspiring discussions just to close the conference. Of course, like Zoran, I'm not going to deliver a keynote speech, but I am working for Eurostat, so what I should do is to provide some numbers about the event. And I also learning the lessons how useful visualization should be. I wanted to summarize in nice pictures what you did in the last 3 days, and maybe if you have forgotten something to take, then you could get inspiration from these slides. Some numbers, as I promised. So my colleagues summarized very quickly and very nicely. So in 3 days, we got about 400 participants almost from 65 countries. And there were, I could round it, almost 200 presentations, including posters, keynote addresses, opening and closing speeches. There were 43 sessions, 3 satellite events, and 1 tutorial. So I think that these are maybe big numbers, not big data, but impressive numbers. And the most important thing is that, as usual, this event brought together people who are producing statistics, researchers, and users of statistics. So then, if you could quickly remember, you see how many topics you have covered in the last 3 days. And then, again, as a statistician who is biased, I always try to derive some trends. So I just wanted, as I told you, to visualize some topics which have been discussed, and then you got impression how many things you have discussed during the last days, and maybe you could pick up something what could be interesting for the future. Of course, number 1 is data. So it's not a big news, because we always talk about data. The big news, however, that we started this conference with the assumption that we are living in a different society, a society in transition, for which we need a reliable evidence and for which we statisticians have to adjust to. And then the news are that nowadays we are talking about very different types of data. So a lot of the conference was devoted to big data, including the wonderful speeches today. We were talking about open data, we are talking about combining different data sources, we are talking about technological approaches to internet with robots for internet scrapping, for example. So data topic was quite rich. Then my second cluster is going to the classics. So classic is still alive, but maybe we have to introduce something modern. At least we know how to do it. At least we think we know how to do it, but maybe we have to think how to change it. So this is about surveys and sampling, where we have a lot of challenging questions, where how to cope with non-response rates, for example, how to use multi-mode data collections, how to address methodological challenges with non-responses, and many other issues related to the modern use of surveys and sampling. Then this is a slide which shows a topic which maybe in the previous NTTS would not be in the agenda. But during this NTTS, we have a substantial part of the presentations and papers which were devoted to visualization and communication. Because even on the first day, one of the first key messages in the conference was that producing good quality statistics is not enough. Certainly quality, as our keynote speakers today said, is something what is our competitive advantage of official statistics. But it's not enough just to produce the data. And one of the key messages which I also found in Twitter after the first day was that if you do not present well the evidence, then the evidence will not be transmitted. So therefore, visualization and communication became an important part of the conference, and as you see, I try immediately to apply some innovative methods. The next topic is something what is, has been for a long time in our business, but what is impressing is these different elements. So we have been talking about standards, but we have been talking about different kinds of standards, and there are new elements of the picture, like the standards which are related to open data, or for example, that more and more we are talking not only about SDMX, which was initially focused on aggregated data, on exchanging tables, which is the classical business of statistics, but we are talking more and more about standards for microdata, and we are talking about standardizing statistical process and sharing services. So then if we move to the next topic, what is going on? Okay. Then we are moving more to the substance. So speaking about users are not interested in how we are producing statistics and information. They are more interested what they are getting from us. And indicators have occupied also a substantial part of the discussions, and maybe this is not surprising, because more and more statistics plays an important role for providing reliable evidence for decision making. Just last week in the United Nations in Statistical Commission, one of the main topics was how to select the right statistical indicators to measure and monitor the global goals for post-2015 agenda, which will be the next version of the previous Millennium Development Goals. And we have a lot of examples in Europe, like, for example, Europe 2020 indicators, which are used for monitoring purposes. And I took a note during the presentation of Zoran Stančić that maybe for digital agenda, we also need a scoreboard, which has to be updated, and I guess Eurostat will play a key role in that. Then the next topic was about census. We almost have just finished the previous census, and the previous census in 2011 in European Union was a different one, because it combined different data sources. Many countries started to implement web surveys and questionnaires, but we are looking already at the next census, which will be even more challenging, having the new emerging data sources and new technologies. So therefore, there were a number of sessions which were focusing on census. Then, of course, one of the purposes of this meeting is to bring together people, and to bring together the producers, official statisticians, and researchers. Therefore, there were a number of elements in the conference, not only papers, but also sessions, and also the last speech of my colleague was aimed to stimulate your interaction and to encourage you to search for opportunities for joint research. Maybe the last from this nice visualization slides is about, during this conference, speaking not only about the content, but also about the means. We try to be innovative, and we have tried to use different formats, not only classical presentations and posters, but also to use networking, to use tutorials, to use the speed dating, which were aimed at encouraging future collaboration, to use our famous cross portal, which has becoming more and more popular, where you could not only find information, but to collaborate, interact, and exchange ideas on research in official statistics. And one of our innovation was, compared to the previous conferences, was our Twitter interaction. So you already know well, or you have participated in asking questions through the Twitter, but just again some statistics. So we got about 7, I think there are more, because my reference date of my date extraction is yesterday evening, so the data are already obsolete. We got more than 800 tweets, and there were also very nice summaries. We selected just some tweets yesterday evening, but of course, my favorite tweet is, "Who said that official statistics are boring?" So maybe this is something what we could all of us take at home. Oh, a very nice one: "In the ocean of data, who will be trusted?" Of course, I would prefer that the question is, shall we trust to official statistics as the institution which could provide quality data in the ocean of data? And then what from all this rich agenda, what we could say that at least as official statisticians and as representing Eurostat, the statistical office of the European Union, who is leading the big army of 50,000 statisticians who are working to produce data, all this work will be beneficial for the overall course of modernization of the European statistics, which we are now implementing, with the 5 key priority areas which we consider, in which we would like to work together, Eurostat and the national statistical institutes, namely to work more actively with users, to tap the potential of new data sources, to invest more in communication and dissemination in the direction of visualization and interaction, to improve statistical processes benefiting from the fact that we are working together and that we would like to share services, data, not only methodologies, to improve quality. And of course, the 6th element is that we have general frameworks like quality framework, like standards, like legal and financial frameworks, which we would, like research framework, for example, which we would like to use. So, what if is the title of my presentation. What if we will implement the outcomes of this conference? If we implement the outcome of this conference, we certainly will boost our journey towards modernization. And then I just would like, of course, I don't want to miss this opportunity to say that such a big conference is a result of effort of many, many people. Some of them you see, like my wonderful colleagues from Unit B1, who are not only facilitating the sessions, but they have been organizing the whole event. We have I would like to thank you to all of you for attending this conference, to our speakers, to chairs, to all the team who you have not seen but was behind all the technology. And I would like to welcome you, to see you again after 2 years, as usual, in Brussels, either in February or in March, for NTTS 2017. Thank you very much. I think we have some more pictures. Yeah? Yeah? Thank you.